versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Anaheim Stadium. It's an absolutely gorgeous day here in Southern California as the Kansas City Chiefs, with a record of 6-3, coming off of the open date, they now make their drive for a possible championship berth. This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, and they are led by a coach who certainly has been strong at the end of the season.
Well, one of the things that Marty Schottenheimer does is he is a master psychologist. At this time of the season, both sides are beat up. Physically, they are impaired. You can tell right there that the mental toughness that Marty Schottenheimer incurs in his troops has thus enabled him to accrue the 29-12-1 record you see right there.
The Los Angeles Rams have won the toss. They will be receiving. Kansas City will be kicking off, so Nick Lowry will be officially starting the ball game, with Ron Brown, number 81, the Olympic speedster, and Vernon Turner, number 82, as the return men for the Los Angeles Rams. This is only the fourth time in history that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams have met in regular season play, and the Rams hold a 3-0 record against Kansas City. However, this year the Rams are struggling under John Robinson. Their record is 3-6. And here we go. And Ron Brown from a yard deep in the end zone, and he is out to the 15, to the 20, maybe the 21-yard line, where Los Angeles will go to work. The Rams offense looks like this. An offensive line just the opposite of Kansas City's. The Rams have been mixing and matching all season long with injuries. Backs and receivers, the return of Flipper Anderson last week certainly will help their pass offense. When they go to 3 wide, the running back and a tight end will come out. Aaron Cox and Jim Price will come in. We have an injury timeout at the 20-yard line.
Offside.
And also a flag.
Kicking team will re-kick after the 5-yard penalty.
Kevin Porter a little bit anxious to get downfield. That'll enable the Rams to get another shot at it. You know, Ron Brown, we mentioned the speedster. A lot of the notoriety that he has had has been as a result not necessarily of football. You remember him as the gold medalist in the 4x100 relay team back in the 1984 Olympics, as well as the fact that he was twice winner of the NFL's fastest man competition. He also, a lot of people don't realize that back in 1985, he was a Pro Bowler. He returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns during that year with an average of 32.8. Ron Brown, the speedster, has actually done an excellent job with his career, considering the fact that in his senior year at Arizona State, I don't even believe he caught 30 passes. So just goes to show, like that adage that the Raiders used to have up with regards to Cliff Branch, speed kills. And you can't teach it.
And he, of course, has been a top contender in the NFL's fastest man every year. He and Darrell Green of the Washington Redskins are the only 2 players ever to win that competition. And it was almost a dead heat this past summer.
So why, let me ask you something. This is something that's been bothering me over the course of the last 5 years. Why was I never invited?
Why were you never invited to what?
To the NFL's fastest man competition.
You mean as a broadcaster? You gotta be kidding. We're not even sure you'd qualify as a broadcaster. We know. If they run it downhill, then there would be an outside chance for you.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't the thing in Palm Springs? It's Fred Jones, the injured player, the wide receiver, and that could hurt them in their flush situation, because he is one of the 4 wides that goes in for the Kansas City Chiefs.
John Robinson, the head coach of the Rams. It's always fun to visit with him like we did yesterday. One thing about John, you ask him a question, he tells you the truth. He doesn't waffle around, does he?
Yeah, I enjoy that. He is very candid. A lot of times, you know, a number of coaches in the National Football League are well versed in what we call coach speak. They have all the right things, like they say execution a lot and momentum and things like that. And when we asked him questions point blank regarding a number of issues that we'll get into throughout the broadcast, you're right, he was exciting with his candor.
All right, here we go again, this time from the 30-yard line. And again, it will be Ron Brown. He takes it at the 11, and he's out to the 20. He's going to add 6 or 7 more yards to the field position that the Rams will have. They'll start this time at the 27-yard line. Charles Washington makes the stop for the Chiefs. Defensively for Kansas City, their front 7, this is as good a group of front 7 as you will find in the National Football League, and a secondary that has a lot of experience a lot of savvy. Lewis, Pearson, Porter, and Deron Cherry. They will go to their 42. And the two inside linebackers will come out. Lloyd Burris and Eric Everett will come in that particular set.
The savvy you mentioned in the secondary, however, as we see limping off the field.
Ron Brown comes up limping. So first it was Fred Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs on the first kickoff, and then Ron Brown of the Rams coming up limping on the second. And now offensively, the Rams are ready to go from their own 27-yard line, first down. Robert Del Pino is the remaining back. They will open with a double tight end set. He slips to the outside, and there's nothing there. He's going to lose a yard, actually, back to the 26, and it will be second down and 11 as Kevin Porter was there to meet him.
Kevin Porter is the young man that has put Lloyd Burris on the bench. Lloyd Burris, a terrific, strong safety for the Kansas City Chiefs in the 80s. As a result, now plays in nickel situations, and that's because Kevin Porter is one of the hardest nosed tacklers from that position in the National Football League.
Again, Del Pino is the remaining back, and a double tight end set with a slot on the left side. Everett goes downfield. The pass is incomplete to Henry Ellard, and it will be third down and 11. And Ellard, although he has 33 receptions for 542 yards this year, amazingly enough does not.
Well, you're right. He hasn't scored yet. In fact, the combination of Willie Anderson and Henry Ellard, the two of them combined in these 9 games only have 1 touchdown between them, and that's a far cry from 2 years ago in the '89 season when both of them went over 1,000 yards for the season. And part of the problems, as John Robinson elucidated to us yesterday, is the fact that the big guys are not coming through with the big plays, and Henry Ellard is one of the culprits.
Third and 11, the Rams from the shotgun. The pass is complete. First down. That is Aaron Cox, who pulls it in at the 42-yard line, and a gain of 16.
Jim Everett does a nice job of picking on one of the people that's not in the prime secondary. Eric Everett is the one that has Aaron Cox in coverage here, and he gives him just a little bit too much room. He hooks up for the first down at 3rd and 11 and gets an extra 2 yards.
So the Rams, this is the opening drive of the ball game, have a first down at their own 42-yard line with now Del Pino and McGee, the two running backs. McGee there is primarily as a blocker, and he is the lead blocker for Del Pino, who goes to the 45-yard line, has 3. It is second down and 7 as Saliamua, the nose tackle for the Chiefs, is there to stop him.
One of the points we discussed with John Robinson yesterday was that Robert Del Pino's effectiveness over the last 3 years has been as a specialist, someone who comes in and makes the catches coming out of the backfield, not as an every down back. But because of the fumbling problem of Cleveland Gary and the fact that Marcus Dupree has not had the needed experience over the last few years, Del Pino has become an every down back. And when we asked him yesterday if he minded the fact that he was playing every down, he said absolutely not. So that's exactly what I want to do, even though I'm only 215.
And here's Del Pino again. A little head fake inside, is going to come up a yard shy of the first down. He needed 7. He gets 6. It'll be third down and 1 as Cherry makes the tackle.
Well, even though he's only 215 pounds, he can break some tackles. And I can't believe I'm actually saying this, only 215. But when the running back on the other side is 260, I guess that's appropriate. He runs through the arms of Tracy Simeon to come within a yard of the first down. And it's a nice forward lean and low to the ground. Nice job of running there by the Dodge City Kansas City.
Third down and 2 officially as they spot the ball at the 50-yard line. A moment ago, the Rams converted on 3rd and 11, and now it is third down and 2. Rice, the backup tight end, and the receiving tight end is the motion man. And Del Pino is stacked up right at the first down markers, so this will all depend upon where the ball is placed as whether or not he did pick up the first down.
We mentioned the fact that Robert Del Pino is from Dodge City, Kansas. We asked him if we were the first ones to say, what does it feel like to get out of Dodge? And he said, no, you're about the 465,341st. I'm sure he's heard that line before. He didn't laugh either when I asked him if he knew Matt Dillon. I don't know why.
And it is shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and inches at the Kansas City 48-yard line.
Normally, I don't like to side with the fans, Charlie, but I do in this situation. You know, the Rams are 3-6, and here they have about 6 inches to go, and I realize that it's early in the game. But you've got your offensive line now that has some continuity. You got a back, and Delpino is very determined. Give yourself the 6 inches. And quite frankly, as you can see by that average there of Dale Hatcher, 37.8, it's not as if this guy's going to give you terrific field position. So in the Rams' case, why not take a shot?
Hatcher to kick. Troy Stratford is the return man for Kansas City. He calls for the fair catch.
Oh, my goodness.
And he takes it at the 5-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
44 yards on the kick. Kansas City's offense will start with their offensive line, and this is an offensive line that has been together for 27 straight games. Backs and receivers led by number 35, Christian Okoye. He is the big man they have to stop. When they go to the flush, both running backs and the tight end will come out. Todd McNair, Fred Jones, but right now he is having his ankle x-rayed, and J.J. Burden come in. So it will probably be Troy Stratford who will come in that set for Fred Jones.
Well, then if Troy Stratford comes in, he's going to have to atone for what was a major mistake there. There's absolutely no excuse for fair catching on the 5-yard line. He's got to let it go.
Kansas City comes out throwing. Pass is complete to Rob Thomas, and he has it at the 11-yard line, so he picks up 5, and it will be 2nd down and 5 as we look to the Ram defense in a front 7, and they have their work cut out for them. They've got to stop Christian Okoye, and a quick look at the secondary as Kansas City is moving out of the huddle very quickly, and we will come back and explain what they do when they go to their big people more in detail in a moment. So it is 2nd down and 5, and here is Okoye, and he may pick up the first down. He needs to get to the 16-yard line.
It's Barry Word on that one,
It
Charlie.
is Barry Word.
Well, that's surprising.
That is surprising. I just assumed that it would be Okoye.
Well, he's coming back in now. I wonder if that was just to get something under his belt. I know that one of the problems that Marty has talked about is that, you know, here's Barry Word, who last year was a 1,000-yard rusher. You can see the totals right now. He has been limited because of the emergence of Harvey Williams, their #1 pick from LSU. And as a result, I think he feels like he's the invisible man.
3rd down and inches. And this time it is Okoye. And they will spot it at the 17-yard line.
Charlie, I mentioned
and it'll be a first down.
Excuse me. I mentioned at the top the fact that Marty is a master psychologist. One of the things that does for Barry Word is it gives him the feeling that, yes, I am still a part of the offense. You know, you have me integrated into things. You haven't forgotten about me. And, you know, down the stretch, if this man right here gets hurt, then the onus of the running game for the offense would fall to Barry Word, because they don't feel that Harvey Williams can carry the load at this juncture as a rookie.
Word is the remaining back in this set. And he is the ball killer. And he's going to get a yard. That's going to be all. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Let's go back to that Ram defense that I was talking about when we showed their secondary, is that they will have a big people set, and that is when Todd Light, the cornerback, goes out and Glenell Sanders comes in as a linebacker, giving them an 8-man front. And we will see a lot of this as the Rams feel the first thing that they have to do defensively is to take away Kansas City's running game.
Of course, what that does is the flip side of it is it puts immense pressure on the corners, in this case a rookie, Todd Light and Darrell Henley.
And now Williams is the running back. And the pass is incomplete to Holohan. It will be 3rd down and about 9.5 to go for the first down.
Well, this is a Plan B acquisition. Of course, this is coming home for Pete Holohan. Evidently, Thomas Wolfe was wrong, because here he is back in Anaheim Stadium, and that's definitely a ball that he should have hung on to, even though it would have been a minimal gain. Pat Terrell puts on the big hit, and, you know, Pete Holohan has not been having the season I'm sure he wished he would have had. He's only had 7 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown in the first 9 games. For the Rams over the last 3 seasons, he had averaged over 50 yards a catch, a crucial and clutch 3rd down receiver for them during that tenure.
DeBerg from the shotgun. And the pass is complete for the first down to J.J. Burton as he goes to the Kansas City 48-yard line, 31 yards on the play.
The production that Steve DeBerg had was outstanding. You're going to see the left tackle John Alt step back, and he's going to keep Kevin Green out. And then it's man-for-man coverage, and Sammy Lilly just can't stay with him. That throw is right on the money, just over his left shoulder. If Sammy could have turned around, he could have seen the ball. But give credit to DeBerg for the throw and Burton for the concentration, as it just missed hitting Lilly on the shoulder pad.
Okoye is in with Bill Jones as the lead blocker for him. And a play action fake to Christian DeBerg, goes deep, has a man wide open. It is juggled, it is incomplete. Rob Thomas had to look back directly over his shoulder, couldn't pick it up, couldn't hold on to it, and he had Darrell Henley beat by about 8 steps.
Charlie, one of the things that we addressed with Darrell Henley yesterday was, I said, you got to be careful that you're not looking in the backfield. Now watch number 20 to the left of your screen. Watch, he looks in the backfield as soon as it's a run. He's totally fooled. Those 2 steps enable Thomas to get past him by a good 6 yards. This is a touchdown if he can just somehow come back. He looked over the wrong shoulder, came back. It was on the right shoulder after all, and Thomas, the son of Aaron Thomas, a former New York Giant end, just could not hold on. Darrell Henley there got a big break.
Second down and 10. No score in the ball game. We'll have flags. False start as DeBerg tried to pull away, and there was a, I'm not sure that that the center, Tim Grunhard, came up with the right snap count.
On the quarterback.
Yeah.
One of the things
Pulling out too early.
One of the things that
Still second down.
that Steve DeBerg does, which he might be the best in the NFL at this, is that he will bark signals. You can watch his head.
8, maybe 9 yards on the play. Harvey Williams with a pair of touchdowns this year and 296 yards rushing coming into the game. Stewart with the stop.
Now, it's interesting you take a look at this physique. This is not a physique that you would think would be terribly strong. 6'2", 222 pounds on that long neck. But watch how he breaks tackles. He cuts right through the tackle there of Glenell Sanders, cuts upfield, runs past another guy, and Kevin Green is able to knock him down, but not after a 9-yard gain. Look at that. That's a he has kind of an Ichabod Crane thing working there with the neck, yet still, it's amazing. He averages nearly 5 yards a carry.
And here's Okoye for the first down. He has it. And he is stopped just outside the Los Angeles 45-yard line. It'll be first down. Now let's check the Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. An interesting day. Buffalo wins. That's expected. Washington leading big in the 4th. Dallas and Houston, they're in overtime right now. San Francisco loses to New Orleans. The Jets lose to the Colts. Indianapolis, their first win of the year. Their record now is 1-9. And you'll pick up the rest of them. Here's Christian Okoye inside the 30, inside the 25. He is down at the 22-yard line. 23 yards for Okoye, and it was David Lutz who opened the hole.
Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, said that they had to bunch 8 at the line of scrimmage, but watch the right side. Look at the hole that opens up. In fact, it's so big that Bill Jones, the lead blocker, number 43, had nobody to hit. Now, this is a terrifying sight if you're a defensive back. I don't care how hard you hit. If you're a 190-pounder, and Christian Okoye, a former discus thrower at Azusa Pacific, is coming at you with his 4.45 speed and 260 pounds, that's got to be scary.
Here he comes again, but he is dead. And he is dropped by Mike Charles, who just became a Ram this week. Charles almost eating himself out of the National Football League. He weighs in at 318 pounds.
Well, right after I'm talking about people that are going to be afraid to hit people, that's a little different. If you weigh 195, that's one thing. If you weigh 319, that is another. Mike Charles had some of his best seasons with first the Miami Dolphins, then the San Diego Chargers, and most recently with the Los Angeles Raiders. But you're right, Charlie. He had a difficult time pushing himself away from the table, but he had a nice play there.
And here is Williams, a little bobble on the handoff. He's going to get a yard to the 20, and that is all that is there. Now let's go back and finish up our 10-minute ticker. We left off with the Jets losing to the Colts. Their record now is 1-9 for Indianapolis. They do it without Eric Dickerson. Philadelphia defeating Cleveland by 2, 32-30. A final Tampa Bay upsetting Detroit by 9, and the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game is in overtime. That's an overtime final, so that'll be a half each. Denver leads by 3, San Diego by 7, and the Giants lead by 7. And here we have no score between the Chiefs and the Rams, but the Chiefs keep threatening. This pass now is complete at the 6-yard line. And a gain of 14 yards on the play, and it is Troy Stratford who is in that offensive set replacing Fred Jones, who is out having that left foot x-ray.
Well, earlier I said that he would have to make up for what was a big mistake in fair catching the ball on the 5-yard line, and he makes a nice catch there between the double team. But this is what veteran savvy is. Take a look at him throwing in the heat of the rush. He takes a big shot there from Robert Young, the rookie defensive tackle, but he stays in the pocket, delivers the ball for a first down. And that's why Steve DeBerg has lasted in the National Football League some 15 years.
And it's first down, goal to go just outside the 6. Play action fake. Little timing pattern into the end zone to Jonathan Hayes. 6-yard touchdown, Kansas City.
Jonathan Hayes makes the catch here. He is their blocking tight end, but watch the fake here by DeBerg. That fools everybody. Look at the middle linebacker, Kelm. He's already in the backfield. He's the man that's responsible for Jonathan Hayes. What a nice touch by DeBerg there, right on the back of the end zone. Play action. Look at how he feathers the ball. Takes a look. That was a nice throw by Steve DeBerg for the 6.
And now Nick Lowry will attempt the extra point. Winters will snap. And Barker to hold. And it is good. So with 3:22 left to go in the first, the score is Kansas City 7 and the Rams nothing. DeBerg, his 12th touchdown pass of the year. Kansas City will be kicking off with Robert Del Pino and Vernon Turner are the return men. You will recall that Ron Brown, after the second kickoff of the ball game, the Chiefs offside on the first, that he came out limping. It is an ankle injury, is the report on Ron Brown. And here is Turner, and he is pulled down at the 15-yard line. Going to kind of squirm out to the 16 where they will spot the ball. James Saxon was there for Kansas City. We've got a timeout, and Kansas City has the lead. Back in a moment.
He is in some very elite company, and of course today you add 4 completions to that, so he has 25-22, 8th on the all-time list, only the 11th person to pass for over 30,000 yards. Those are not journeyman statistics.
And the ball carrier, Robert Del Pino. Saliamua makes the tackle at the 23-yard line, a gain of 6, and it will be 2nd down and 4.
Steve DeBerg is also the oldest player in the league that is a non-kicker. Of course, Pat Leahy, you know, is over 40 years of age. Steve DeBerg turns 38 in January, and Jackie Slater, number 78 for the Los Angeles Rams, in his 16th year with the club, also 37 years of age. These are the 2 oldest active players in the National Football League.
DeBerg, of course, has been now with a total of 5 teams. Slater has only played for the Rams. Del Pino with a couple of yards.
DeBerg learned from some pretty good quarterbacks, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
They get a chance to look at Jackie Slater. When we talked with him yesterday, I said, hey, you look pretty good in those jeans. And he says, well, they're pretty big, too.
We asked you about it. He said his weight, and he would admit to 300. Now, you have a good eye for weight. How far above 300 is it?
Well, let's just say I think he was fibbing.
He looked us right in the eye and he lied.
There's an impressive statistic right there. 216 games. He recently passed Merlin Olsen, who wasn't exactly a stiff with the Rams either. That is a very impressive statistic, considering the number of Rams that have longevity in this league.
Everett throwing on the 3rd down to Robert Del Pino, and he will pick up the first down at the 32-yard line. So he picks up 7. It is a first down. Porter and Lewis on the stop.
As I mentioned at the outset regarding Del Pino, this is where he is most effective. An interesting statistic here is that Robert Del Pino averages 13.7 yards per catch, highest of any running back in the National Football League. That is ideally what they would want him to do, is come out of the backfield and make the catches.
Marcus Dupree is now the running back, and when they came out of the huddle, Jim Everett turned around and had to remind him to snap his chin strap. He takes the fake on a play action, goes downfield to Ellard, who picks up 19. Pearson with the tackle. Back-to-back first downs for the Rams.
Henry Ellard puts a nice move on J.C. Pearson, and yesterday when we talked with Jim Everett, I asked if he was going to pick on Pearson. He said he was, because with Kevin Ross hurt, although J.C. is a quality cornerback, he's not Kevin Ross. And right there you can see Ellard comes back, makes the big catch despite taking a lick from Pearson.
The Rams with the ball at the Kansas City 49-yard line. They have a first down. They trail. Kansas City leads it by a score of 7-0 with 38 seconds and counting. Time remaining here in the first quarter at the Big A. Delpino is back in as the running back. Price is the lead blocker. Delpino with a nice inside-out move will pick up the first. Let's see where they mark it. I thought he would get to the 39-yard line. It will be close to the first down. Dino Hackett with the tackle.
Right when we're talking about Jackie Slater, he puts a big block and opens the hole for Delpino on the right side. The Rams right there running their version of the Washington Redskins counter trade, opening a big hole for Delpino. Watch the side of your screen. You can see Damone Johnson and Slater coming down, and then cutting across, Chris Martin taking on Newberry, but that creates a big hole when he dives in. They just smashed Neil Smith, and Jackie Slater may be 37 years of age, but he can still push some people upfield.
And the interesting thing that he said, you know, the money and the fame, that's all well and good being in the National Football League. He said, but the big thing, he said, I enjoy it. I love coming to work. I enjoy playing. And when you ask him how much longer, day to day, week to week, year to year, he said it really, in reality, as long as it's still fun, as long as he can still produce.
Well, I think that's what's impressive about him. I mentioned to our director, John McDonough, the fact that if I was to coach, if I could have everybody being a Jackie Slater, that would make me want to coach. I mean, here's a man who is professional. He overcomes the tedium of the job, and he accentuates those things that are germane to his performance on the field.
Day by day, he works on his techniques every day.
Yeah, that was one of the first things John Robinson pointed out. Jackie Slater, pro's pro.
And we take the countdown to the end of the first quarter. Chiefs lead it 7-0. Push down Buford McGee, 34-yard line. Time for an update. Let's go to New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
Charlie, here's how it ends in overtime in Cincinnati. Neil O'Donnell, who threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to bring the Steelers back from an 11-point deficit, hits the big tight end Eric Green for the 26-yarder. They had been down 24-13 in the fourth, went ahead 27-24. Jim Breach tied it from 47 yards with 5 seconds left, but then Pittsburgh wins it in OT, snapping a 4-game losing streak. Charles?
All right, thank you, Bob. Here it is, Kansas City 7, the Rams nothing. The Rams coming back to try and tie it up. The pass complete to Ellard at the 18-yard line, a gain of 16 yards on the play and a first down.
Well, Henry must be angry at me. He must have somehow heard me earlier when I said he wasn't delivering on the big play. Once again, with the comeback route against one of arguably the best corner in the business in Albert Lewis. Henry Ellard is a 4-time Pro Bowler, twice as a kick returner and also as a receiver. You can see 2 big catches there, averaging nearly 18 yards per catch.
Ellard goes to the far side. Flipper Anderson to the near side. Johnson and Carter, the double tight end, and Flipper Anderson is the motion man. And the give is to Delpino. And he goes to the 15. It's only for a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. As Saliamua again makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. Now let's check the Cannon 10-minute ticker. This the late game starting with ours. The Raiders with the early lead over Denver now in the second. 7-3. San Diego shutting out Seattle, of course, early at 7-0, and the Giants shutting out Phoenix 7-0. They are in the second, as we are here with Kansas City shutting out the Rams also 7-0, but the Rams threatening at the 15-yard line. To throw, a blitz is on, pass is complete. He picks up the hot receiver. It's Delpino at the 6-yard line.
Well, we've already lauded the pass-catching talents of Robert Delpino, but this is the kind of catch that you get a tight end or wide receiver to make. The minute he touches the ball, bang, he gets hit. He gets hit right on the football and still is able to hold on to it. Everett does a nice job, as you say, Charlie, reading the blitz, getting it to the hot man, bracing himself. Look out, don't hit me, don't hit me. Ball's gone.
This is the 10th play of the drive that started back at the Rams 17-yard line. First down and goal to go. McGee and Delpino are the running backs. And it is Delpino bouncing inside the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go. Kevin Porter finally got it.
Now, the Chiefs have been pretty tough inside the 20 up until this point. Now the Rams are going to have their work cut out for them to get it inside the end zone. You can see right there that they've allowed only 19 of 28. And 12 of those are field goals. And so 7 touchdowns in 9 games. Of course, Kansas City is giving up less than 13 points a game, so the Rams have to focus down here now.
Second down and goal to go about 1.5 yards away. Everett on this drive is perfect. 4 of 4 through the air. A little play action to hold, and all alone is Damone Johnson. Everett on the drive. 5 of 5. The Rams pull within 1. The extra point to come.
Give a lot of credit to Ernie Zampese on this drive. This was an excellent mix of run and pass. A lot of times when you get down on the goal line, 2nd and 2, it's standard fare to give it to the fullback to come up the middle. But Steve DeBerg is not the only guy that can play action fake. Nice job here by Everett and Delpino, and absolutely nobody is with Damone Johnson. Dino Hackett turned completely around, doesn't know where he is. You can't get much more open than that.
Tony's in Deas now to tie it up, and he does. With 11:24 left to go, first half, we are tied at 7.
One of the things that people would have expected, a 7-minute drive, 11 plays, that would have been the sort of thing that Kansas City would have orchestrated. But give credit to Ernie Zampese. He had a tremendous mix there, and you know, capped off by Everett's excellent play action pass there for a 2-yard touchdown to Damone Johnson.
So Tony's in Deas will kick off for the Rams. And it is fielded on the bounce by Harvey Williams. He'll take the touchback, and Kansas City will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Meanwhile, Sammy Lilly is leading cheers to try and stir the crowd up here.
And you can see Harvey Williams caught that one right in the face practically. Good thing he was deep in the end zone, because if that ball comes out to the 1 or 2 yard line, that could have been disastrous for the Chiefs.
So Kansas City from their own 20-yard line, first down. 11:16 time remaining, second quarter. Ball game tied at 7-7. Kansas City moved 65 yards in 7 plays for their touchdown. The Rams moved 83 yards in 11 plays. DeBerg, a quick drop, and the quick out is complete to J.J. Burton. Burton fights his way out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 20 yards on the play. First down, Kansas City.
Last year when we had the Kansas City Chiefs, we had a play where J.J. Burton went 90 yards for a touchdown, and Marty Schottenheimer had told us that this was the man they wanted to strike fear in the defense with his speed. Nice 360 there, able to come back, and now the pursuit doesn't get there quite quick enough, and you can see he breaks a tackle and right at the last minute can't quite keep his feet. But that was a nice set of moves there. Some sweet feet by J.J. Burton.
And Rob Thomas with a nice screen block. They spot the ball at the 38-yard line, first down, so it's only a gain of 18 rather than 20. Stratford is the motion man. Play action fake, and a little swing out to Stratford, and Stratford moves to the Ram 45-yard line. 17 on the play. Kelm and Pat Terrell with the tackle.
The Chiefs might be the best in the league at running this play, this misdirection. It's a fake off the counter boot. Now watch underneath 20. Everybody assumes once again the great play action. Holohan is open as well, but he gets the ball to Stratford, and now he has a lead blocker in Holohan. Steve DeBerg has worked time and time again over the last 2 years on that play action fake, and it has really paid dividends for the Chiefs.
Barry Word is now the running back, and a play action fake to him. DeBerg goes deep, and it is incomplete. Rob Thomas, the intended receiver. The Rams drop back double coverage. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the Ram 45-yard line. And our first Xerox Sports Facts: who was the first Chief, that of course is Kansas City Chief, to be inducted into the Professional Football Hall of Fame? We'll have the answer for you in a moment.
I'm glad you qualified that, because I was just about to say Geronimo.
Well, I knew that you would get him in there. I, of course, was going
for Crazy Horse.
To go. I'm related. Second down. McCoy. First down. 38 30-yard line. Gain of 15 on the play, and Pat Terrell is the man who makes the tackle, and a defensive back they have big eyes when he comes roaring through.
And this is what happens with the effective play action. Now there's a little bit of hesitation on the defensive lineman's part. Now look, they look in the backfield. Is it pass? Is it run? Now it's too late. Okoye's gone. DeBerg has done such an excellent job of faking that now people aren't sure whether or not it is a run or pass. And that really helps the deception of the Kansas City offense.
Okoye, 5 carries, 53 yards. And here he comes again. And he'll add about 7 more to his total. Chris Pike and Pat Terrell on the tackle.
Running behind the left side of the line, doing an excellent job for the Chiefs up front, are John Alt and David Zott. He just pushed the pile right there at about the 26-yard line, as a 260-pounder could do. When we talked with John Alt, he talked about bang. Look at how, ouch. Right in the back, you can see that Derek Graham takes a shot there. When we asked John Alt about that, he said, boy, that can be really painful when you get 260 pounds running up right in your lumbar vertebrae.
He says when Okoye moves, you all move. The blocker, the would-be tacklers, and Okoye. Second down and short. And the quick out is complete to Rob Thomas. Darrell Henley goes over the top to take him out of bounds at the 17-yard line. First down. Now let's check the Cannon 10-minute ticker for the late scores. Raiders up by 4 over Denver and Mile High Stadium. Chargers continue to shut out Seattle. That game down south. Giants now 14-0 over Phoenix in the second quarter. And here we are tied 7-7, Kansas City and the Rams. First down, Chiefs. Rams 17-yard line. Williams is the ball carrier. Sweep right side. Cuts inside the blocks. Will go to the 8-yard line. Second down and 1. He picked up 9. Terrell made the tackle. Pete Holohan with the block. And let's now go back to our Xerox Sports Facts. Who was the first Kansas City Chief inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And the answer is Lamar Hunt in 1972. Lamar and Norma here had a nice visit with him before the ball game. And he is an encyclopedia of AFL trivia. He remembers, of course, involved in all of it. And it's fun sharing it with him. And here is Okoye. He needed a yard. I'm not sure that he made it. A reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's most valuable player.
Some of the big runs that Christian Okoye has been to the left side. There you see John Alt, all 6'8", 300 pounds of him. And we had a chance to chat with him yesterday. He mentioned the fact that the yards of Okoye are very important to the offensive line. But I asked him, I said, does it bug you that none of the people up front for you have been getting the due that they should in terms of Pro Bowls and things of that nature? And he says, no, that's fine. He says, that's the way we like it. He says, being anonymous is no problem with me. And in this day and age of self-promoters, that really surprised me.
And the chains are out for the measurement.
Of course, then again, if you're 6'8" and 300 pounds, kind of tough to be anonymous, isn't it?
It's very difficult. And it is short by a length and a half of the football.
This might be an opportune time, as you can see them huddled together. Joe Pendry up in the box is wondering what to call. Steve DeBerg has been, as we mentioned, so effective in terms of the play action pass here that everybody assuming that Okoye is going to get the ball, they might get an easy touchdown with a good fake.
Third down, half a yard to go for the first down. And our shot from the blimp that is high overhead. A little foggy this morning in Southern California. The blimp had to wait to take off till he had a clearance, but is now with us and will be with us, of course, throughout the game. And we have flags and whistles. It will be an encroachment call against the Rams. I believe it was Mike Charles, number 79, who moved across and made contact.
Encroachment, 79 defense, first down.
Charlie certainly part of the problem with Mike Charles is he hasn't played in a long time, but as we mentioned earlier, Steve DeBerg very effective. Watch the head and watch the bob. You can see right there. Sometimes an official will let that go. In the case of Steve DeBerg, because he is a veteran, they will let that go. If a younger quarterback comes up and does the same bob, they'll throw the flag and call motion against the offense. Give Steve DeBerg credit there for an easy first down.
Final end, Del Greco, 23-yard field goal. Houston in overtime defeats Dallas 26-23. He, of course, is the new kicker for the Oilers. Okoye from the 3. And we'll give him a yard. It's going to be second down and goal to go in the neighborhood of the 2. Fred Strickland leading the Rams defense.
Nothing like going from anonymity to being a hero. Christian Okoye going to the left. This is what they want to do. They want to get him to go east and west. See how his shoulders are turned up. He isn't quite turned up field there, and as a result, the Rams pursuit is able to get him down. It's when his shoulders get squared, and as the cliche comes from coaches going north and south, that is when he is most difficult to get down.
Second and goal to go. Okoye to the 1-yard line, where it will be third down and goal to go.
You know, it's interesting on that bootleg, Steve DeBerg bootleg, and 3 Rams went with him, and he didn't have the ball. Watch the hand fake of Steve DeBerg here. Now watch the Rams that go with him. Look at Joe Robinson. Watch Michael Stewart. Oh, wait, who has it there? He sprints back. You can see at the bottom left of your screen. Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, has got to be one of the more beleaguered people right now.
Barry Word has replaced Okoye, who lost his shoe. And Word stretches. Does he make it? Yes. The official on the far side says touchdown. And for Barry Word, that is his first touchdown of the year.
Glenell Sanders was complaining that when he hit him down, the ball hit the ground first before it rolled over into the goal line. Let's take a look. Watch the right of your screen. Watch 55 fill the hole here and then make the tackle. Where does the ball end up?
Remember, the goal line is the high part of the thick line that is from the bottom to the top of the television set. Officials now are going to step in and stop the play for a review, I'm sure.
The play was ruled touchdown on the field. It's being reviewed by replay.
Right here you'll see Sanders hit him. Now where does the ball end up? Does his knee hit first? Is the ball over the line right there? That's the argument that they're going to have to contend with here on the instant replay.
Now we're looking down from our replay from the blimp. That is the angle that, no, we do have another angle, and we will present that for you now.
You see Barry Word debating.
After further review, the play stands. Touchdown.
There's a crowd there, but I think a bit more definitive here. The play does stand.
Well, simultaneously his knee hits and then the ball hits over the goal line. The only argument there would be if indeed his knee did hit down first, it could be on the 1-yard line, but there was not enough evidence to overturn it.
And the extra point is good, and Kansas City moves out in front by a score of 14-7 with just over 5 minutes to go, first half.
Here now, by Little Caesars.
Welcome back to the Big A. As you can tell, an absolutely gorgeous sun-drenched Sunday afternoon here in Southern California. The Chiefs 14, the Rams 7. Kansas City leads by 7. And that means that Nick Lowry is kicking off to Robert Delpino or Vernon Turner. In case you joined us late, Ron Brown has a bruised left foot on a kickoff return, and he is out of action. Here is Delpino cut down at the 14-yard line, and flags come flying in from everywhere. Charles Washington is the man who got Delpino, and we'll sort out the flag. Johnny Greer, the referee. And the call against the Rams.
I think Robert Delpino should ask for a raise. He's on passing downs, running downs. Now he's running back kickoffs.
We got 2 fouls on the run back. Number 38 and number 61, both holding on the run back. We'll go half the distance to the goal.
David Lang and Bernd Brostek of the Rams. We've got a timeout. We'll step aside for a moment, but we'll come right back. The Big A from the MetLife Blimp. Our pilot today, Captains Bart Van Beest and Hunter Harris for Snoopy, high above Southern California. Everett has pressure. Fire, pass complete, 29-yard line. A gain of 22 yards on the play, and it was Henry Allard who pulled it in.
John Robinson talked to us yesterday about Jim Everett. He said that many people felt he had, well, you know, the colloquialism is it happy feet. But now he is able to step in the pocket and avoid the rush and show a little bit more courage. Right there, he steps up and makes a terrific throw to Henry Allard right in the middle of the field. Very pleased with that is Jim Everett. And that's a reputation you don't want to have. And Jim Everett has been overcoming it this year because of the fact that he has taken a lot of shots as a result of an offensive line that has been plagued by injuries.
Delfino up the middle from the 29 to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. It'll be second down and short. Mark it at the 38.
The offensive line is starting to take control. Watch the left guard there. Nice job on Bill Moss by Tom Newberry, who pushes him out and enables Delfino to cut up field. Tom Newberry, number 66 for the Rams, is the only offensive lineman who has been starting every game thus far. And earlier in the season, he was playing center, and he had to switch to left guard. This is only the fourth straight game now that this offensive line has been together, and Jackie Slater felt like today would be a day for them to establish some continuity.
Delfino to the 40-yard line. There's a flag dropped from the far side.
Looked like Neil Smith got off a little bit early there.
Lonnie March with the tackle.
Neil Smith, number 90 for the Kansas City Chiefs, is having an outstanding season along with Derek Thomas. He has 7 sacks while Derek Thomas has 7.5. And
offside, 90 defense. First down.
He has a very interesting statistic that fans might pay attention to. In the old days, all they were interested in was bench press and 40 time. This man has a sleeve length of 44 3/4 inches. Now, what that does, of course, is that helps with his arm under, and this is a man that's going to bat down a lot of passes. 3 years ago, he was the 2nd pick in the entire draft, and over the last 2 years, he's had a hard time justifying it, but this year, he is definitely on a Pro Bowl pace.
First down Rams at their own 43-yard line. Price the motion man. Everett stands in with time. Pass is complete. He goes to Damone Johnson, his tight end. And Lonnie March makes the tackle. We've talked about the sun shining here. Well, next weekend, the sun will be shining at Kapalua, the Ping Kapalua International Golf Tournament, with such great champions of the past as Lee Trevino, Greg Norman. Of course, the host pro is Hale Irwin, and we will be there for final round coverage next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time.
Do you have a reason as to why Greg Norman has had so many second-place finishes? He's always so close, you know?
I think he just picked bad spots to play well, because somebody's played
right?
just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Everett drops it over the middle to the 50-yard line, and Flipper Anderson is decked. Oh, he is really nailed. And here is a man who was out 4 weeks with a back injury and then came back and had a really great game last week, and they're pleased to see him. But boy, he takes a shot. Lonnie March does it.
He does. Whew. Look at, he's smiling though. He doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. Well, that's what happens when your nickname is Flipper. You're always happy. Makes a nice catch over the middle, and you're right, it tests his back as Lloyd Burris comes up and puts on a shot along with Simeon.
We now have the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back in a moment. Having an outstanding afternoon. He has completed 9 of 11 for 98 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and he has eight consecutive completions. Inside handoff to Delfino, right at the first down marker. It was 3rd down and a long 2, and Robert May have picked it up. Derek Thomas was there for Kansas City.
I like that call, but Derek Thomas did an outstanding job of coming off his pass rush and making the tackle. Derek Thomas, you know, a great sacker, leading the NFL last year with 20 and has 7.5 this year. Right in the middle of your screen, you'll see 58. He's in his pass rush mode, takes off, and is able to cut back and come back. It may seem like that's an easy play, but it isn't, because number 58, he is geared to go totally upfield. And then when he crosses over like that and is still able to make the tackle, as we can see, not quite good enough to prevent the first down, but still a very athletic play by Derek Thomas.
And when we talked to Derek yesterday, we made the comment this was his third year, and he said yes. He said, me and Marty, we brought the good times together.
Yeah. Way to take credit for it, DT.
That was a great statement.
I tell you what, though, in 2.5 seasons, when you have 37.5 sacks, you are doing something.
Everett's pass out's complete. He is now 9 of 9. They'll mark it complete at the 42-yard line to Jim Price. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. The Rams will stop the clock, and we will step aside with 1:23 left to go in the second quarter. With the ball, Kansas City with the lead. 1:23 time remaining in the first half. Kansas City with 3 timeouts left. The Rams have 2. 2nd and 5 on the Kansas City 42-yard line. Ellard is in motion, and Delpino has the first down as he stretches to the 32-yard line. I think they'll mark it back closer. No, they're going to set it right at the 32-yard line. He picked up 10 yards on the play and the first down. Hurry up offense. Moving on the 1-minute mark. Everett, a little swing to Delpino right side. He's to the 25 and then is upended. Saliamua got him. 22-yard line, should be a first down. Clock continues to move.
This would be a good time to spike the ball.
They move the chains. Everett's hot hand continues. This is Price. He'll go out of bounds. So Everett to his roommate Jim Price out of bounds. Clock is stopped. 38 seconds left to go in the first half. A drive for the Rams has started at their own 7-yard line.
That's heads up, as you mentioned, by his roommate to get out of bounds. Up until that point, Charlie, you had mentioned he had 8, now 11 straight completions. You know, he might be getting in a groove. Last week against the Saints, he threw for 348 yards, his high of the season. And the way he's going right now, it appears that he's got it going.
Ellard is in motion. Everett throws. Touchdown Rams. Henry Ellard, his first touchdown of the year. Zendejas for the tie. They got it. 14-14, 34 seconds left, first half.
Let's face it, it's time to get his first touchdown of the season with a mere 34 seconds left in the first half. It is a slant pattern. Look at the protection that Jim Everett has, and he exploits the man-for-man coverage of J.C. Pearson, who, as we mentioned earlier, he opted to take advantage of. J.C. gives him too much of the middle of the field, and Ellard with the rolling catch, and now Jim Everett. What impressive statistics by number 11 right now. 13 of 15 for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. 12 consecutive completions. And what is also impressive for Jim Everett is the fact that in that 2-minute offense, Charlie, he doesn't look to the sidelines and wait for somebody to call things. He calls plays of his own accord. He did a masterful job on those last 50 yards.
And so Tony Zendejas will kick off. Little spread type kick. And here is McNair on the return near the 29-yard line.
A little bit of pain there is Robert Delpino with that foot. If you recall, when he made that catch, he landed flat on his back, and it looked like his foot might have been folded underneath him. And sometimes you can say people are indispensable, but this man who's catching passes, running from scrimmage, returning kicks, selling popcorn, you know, selling raffle tickets, there's nothing that Robert Delpino isn't doing today, because this is somebody that the Rams can ill afford to lose.
Kansas City now from their own 28-yard line, first down. Henry Ellard with that touchdown reception. That is his 4th of the first half. 71 yards. And be sure to stay with us at halftime for Domino Pizza's NFL Live halftime report. A little middle screen to McNair, and he will go to the 37-yard line, where it will be second down, and Kansas City will stop the clock now with 20 seconds left to go in a first half that is tied at 14. The short field. They want to set up a field goal attempt for this man, Nick Lowry.
Well, this is somebody that can kick it from a long distance, and with 20 seconds left, they will probably end up, if they can get down the field, with a long-range kick. I remember playing in a game there in Kansas City where he hit a howitzer. It hit a 58-yard. I'll never forget that. And he cleared it by about 5 yards. He certainly has the leg.
DeBerg from the shotgun. Pass is complete to Stratford. He'll pick up the first down. I'm surprised the Chiefs don't take a timeout here. They're simply letting too much time come off of the clock.
Boy, that was really foolish. That's very uncharacteristic. I saw Steve DeBerg looking over to the sidelines, wanting to know what it is they wanted to do, but with 20 seconds left and throwing in the middle of the field like that, they had no choice but to call timeout, and they cost themselves at least 12 seconds there.
So very poor clock management for Kansas City. And another reminder to be with us at halftime for Domino's Pizza's NFL Live halftime report. The whole gang will be there, and they'll be updating some upsets. They'll be bringing you the facts and figures behind the Colts' first win of the year, and a couple of overtime contests. The new kicker for the Houston Oilers. So it'll be a very interesting halftime. And here we remain tied at 14. It looks as if with only 2 seconds left in the first half that is going to take us into halftime.
You know, you and I had the Colts 2 of the last 3 weeks, and their offense was just the only word to describe would be anemic, and they broke out in a big way today. 28 points, was it?
28 points. Jeff George, 16 of 26, 239 yards, 3 touchdowns.
So evidently number 29 is not indispensable.
Not today. And so now Kansas City will just elect to run out the clock here at halftime. And so with the first half in the book, it is Kansas City 14, Rams 14. We'll be right back after these messages from the NFL and a word from your local station. Halftime is 14-14. Are you surprised? Yeah? We have a little technical problem with your microphone, and so while we work on that, we'll take a look at the Coors Keystone first half statistics. First downs are all even. Rushing yards to Kansas City side. Passing yards little to the Rams. Total offense actually pretty close. The one turnover, that was the interception by Deron Cherry. And time of possession, so everything number-wise comes out fairly even, as does the score at halftime of 14-14. You have a new microphone on? How does this one work?
Well, I don't know.
Good. It says so.
Does it work?
Yes.
No, well, you know what? All of a sudden, I had this urge to call Kenny Walker's guy and have him come in. Remember that? Earlier in the season, we were fortunate enough to do a Denver game, and of course, I'm referring to Kenny Walker, the deaf defensive end for the Denver Broncos, and a very animated character. And of course, he had hired a gentleman to help him interpret not just sign language, but of course the plays and the various terminology that is inherent in professional football. That man had an excellent first half, didn't he?
He certainly did. Finished on a high note. Rams 14, Chiefs 14, and Tony Zendejas will kick off for Los Angeles. And Kansas City will have the first opportunity on offense in the second half. And here is Harvey Williams, 2 yards deep in the end zone, and he will down it for the touchback. Will bring the ball out to the 20-yard line, where the Chiefs will go to work. What do you look for from Kansas City in the second half?
Well, I think they need to establish a little bit more of the run, but then again, I mean, you know, the play action passing seems to be working. I think that had the half not run out, more than likely Kansas City would have gone in. So from an offensive standpoint, I don't look to them to do too much different.
In the first half, the Chiefs using Christian Okoye, Harvey Williams, and Barry Word all as running backs, and pretty well interchangeable, keeping everybody reasonably fresh. Kind of a warm afternoon in Southern California. They open up with a play-action fake and a complete pass to Tim Barnett, the rookie from Jackson State. Todd Light with the tackle in the first half. Okoye rushed for 62 yards. Williams rushed for 25. And Barry Word rushed for 5 yards. 3 carries, 5 yards. He picked up one of the Chiefs' touchdowns.
Tim Barnett, the young man that just made that catch for the Kansas City Chiefs, was the man who recovered the fumble for a safety in the Raider game on Monday night some 2 weeks ago. And that may not seem like that significant a play, but it ended up being the margin of victory for the Chiefs. Very rarely do you have a starting offensive receiver who leads the team in special teams tackles, but that is the case for number 82 Tim Barnett, who also leads in touchdown receptions as well with 4.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Opening drive of the second half in a ball game that is tied at 14. DeBerg's pass is complete to Barnett again, and he has the first down as they're going to mark the play down at the 45-yard line. And there's a flag down at that spot after a gain of 13.
Rookie Todd Light must have got a piece of the face mask.
He did.
It's interesting that DeBerg now twice has picked on the rookie who had his first National Football League start last week against the New Orleans Saints.
41 defense. First down.
Todd Light was a holdout through training camp, and he really didn't get a chance to acclimate himself to the defense that Jeff Fisher had put in, but they really like his play. Right here you can see that left hand coming right across the mask, and actually he was fortunate there that they didn't go with 15 because his neck did get jerked back a little bit. But they feel like they can do a lot of things with him in the secondary, take some chances once they improve their defensive line play.
And the ball just short of the 50-yard line. First down, Kansas City. Play action fake, and wide open is Holohan as he goes to the 25-yard line of the Rams. 26 yards on the play, and great faking again by DeBerg.
That's got to feel awfully good for Pete Holohan. The first time they went to him, he dropped the pass. You can see him cutting across right there, 89 in the middle. He gets lost in the shuffle. He does a good job of just getting lost behind the line of scrimmage. But as you mentioned, Charlie, give credit where credit is deserved here. Steve DeBerg's play action fake totally fooled the Rams secondary.
Christian Okoye, and he will pick up 3 to the 22, and it will be 2nd down and 7. And if you are not familiar, of course, where we are located as we look down from the blimp, that of course is the Magic Kingdom itself.
Is that really the happiest place on earth?
Yes, it is. Next to this booth.
Ah, well.
A lot of people there enjoying it this afternoon. We're looking down from the MetLife blimp that travels more than 50,000 miles to cover television specials and sporting events around the United States. And by the way, our camera there is Bob Mickelson. Play action fake again. DeBerg throws, pass is complete, flag is down. Barnett has the reception. And let's see what the flag is all about, and I will wrap up the story on Bob Mickelson, the cameraman at the blimp. On the blimp, he was the cameraman aboard the blimp at the Ryder Cup that caught all those great pictures for us.
Did Todd Light grab or did Tim Barnett push?
Holding, 41 defense, holding, 79 offense. They'll offset.
That's David
Still
Zott,
second
the
down.
offensive guard.
This has been a tough series for Todd Light. That's the 3rd time they went to him, and of course Dave Zott, the guard for the Kansas City Chiefs, is going to negate that first down gain by Tim Barnett.
So it is 2nd and 7, back at the Rams 22-yard line. Flags go down as Mike Charles came crashing through.
DeBerg is in some pain too, Charlie.
We have an official's timeout. DeBerg is still down.
anticipating is Charles, and he's not prepared right there. You can see now he goes head first onto his elbows. You know, when you're not braced for it, a lot of times that's what can happen. You're used to falling on your knees or on your shoulders, and DeBerg had no idea that Charles was going to be there.
Yesterday when we were talking with Darrell Henley, the cornerback of the Rams, he said that DeBerg is as important to Kansas City's offense as Montana is to the 49ers. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. DeBerg now on the sideline, and Vlasic is the quarterback. He has limited playing ability this year, but he hands off to Okoye, who fumbles right at the bottom. The Rams say that they have it, and they do. So the turnovers now have evened out at 1 apiece.
Well, you certainly can't blame Mark Vlasic for this. Good line play coming in there. Fred Strickland does a nice job of stripping the ball, and there it lays on the ground. He can see it. First man to see it, he gets on top of it. And Okoye can't be feeling too happy about that because the Chiefs were knocking on the door.
And prior to being shaken up, DeBerg had completed 6 in a row. And the Rams take over on the turnover. We'll take another look.
Right there coming across. Michael Stewart is the one who strips the ball, and Fred Strickland coming over. Right, their ball's laying right there. There's no debate.
And rule the runner down by contact. Still Kansas City ball.
Oh, no.
The replay official has overruled the fumble recovery, saying that Okoye was down by contact, and Kansas City will retain possession, and DeBerg is back in.
But now coming straight at you will be Christian Okoye. Now where does the ball come out? You can see right there the ball is out. There's the ball laying on the ground. It's right there underneath his leg. The ball was out long before he hit the ground. That's unfortunate. There it is laying there. That ball was clearly out before he hit the ground. I'm very surprised that got overturned.
And the officials have stopped the clock again, possibly to take another look by the replay official, Dave Hawk.
Now, Charlie, here's what happens a lot of times is that in the scrum of people, they won't, if the ball doesn't just pop loose, they assume that that's not a fumble. What they might be talking about is an inadvertent whistle, but when you see the ball, now watch as Okoye goes down. Now, see, he's not down. He's still not down. The ball comes out. The ball is stripped. Right there, it's gone. Now, watch right here in the middle of your screen. There's the ball on the 1. Right there, the 1 of the 1-0. The ball is bouncing loose. That is a fumble. There is no way that he was down before the ball came out.
And so the review is being reviewed, and the replay is being replayed. The clock is stopped with 11:03. That is the time remaining in the third, in case you were wondering.
At home, what you're wondering is you're saying, why are they reviewing it again? And the debate there, right there, the caucus amongst the officials as to whether or not there was an inadvertent whistle. As I say, it is a difficult call there when a fumble is amongst the people and you can't see. But clearly by the replay that we saw of Okoye coming towards us, prior to his falling down, the ball was laying a good 1.5 yards from where his arm was, which would lead you to believe. Watch it again. Now, there he is on the 0. Now, where is the ball? Where's the ball? Right there, you see it laying there on the 1-yard line, and he's still not down. Clearly, that's a fumble.
And we're moving on the 2-minute mark, time remaining for the replay official.
After further review, the play stands. Still Kansas City ball.
What he means is that the replay stands. What Schottenheimer wants him to do is hurry up and get a play off before anything else can happen. The ball is spotted just inside the 8-yard line. It is first down and goal to go Kansas City. The report on Steve DeBerg, who is back in the ball game, is that he has a bruised knee. comes a safety blitz, and it is intercepted. Jerry Gray has the interception. The Rams have the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you believe in poetic justice? If you do, then you would say that that was an excellent time for Jerry Gray to get that interception. But
however, there's a flag down. The officials have taken the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Roughing the passer. First down. 76 defense.
That is on the rookie Robert Young, number 76.
You saw Jerry Gray running in to plead his case, but number 76 right here. Gee.
Oh, I think that's a reach.
See, that really is. That is really sad. That is really sad, especially when you're inside the 10-yard line at a pivotal play like that. That's, you know, he's got to club him across the head before they're going to make that call. The Rams are really getting jobbed here.
Okoye just back to the line of scrimmage, the 4-yard line. It'll now be second down and goal to go. Kevin Green was there for the Rams. Let's go back to that roughing the passer call.
Well, now, is this with malicious intent? Take a look. Does he go after his head right here? He's past it. He's not sure if he has the ball. Now watch the elbow. No, he's just pushing him down there because his momentum is going forward. You know, I keep coming back to what Jack Lambert said when they made that rule originally. He says, what are we going to do eventually? We're going to put them in dresses? Terrible.
And here is Word, and he is going to have a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and it will be third down and goal to go.
Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams, certainly has his work cut out for him, not simply because of the fact that the Chiefs are so effective inside the 20, but because now the momentum has shifted and shifted again and shifted again, and he has to keep his troops fresh. This would be a major momentum boost for the Rams here if they can force them to kick the field goal.
Third down, goal to go. Play action fake. Tipped, incomplete. Almost intercepted on the ricochet in the end zone. It will be fourth down and goal to go.
And the fans are very appreciative as well. They should be. You can see Fred Strickland trying to get them involved. Misdirection play that's been so effective earlier. He fools some people, fools Fred Strickland. This is definitely a catchable ball by Jonathan Hayes, and even though the Rams are not able to come up with the interception, the crowd cheers, and they've got to feel awfully good about themselves, stopping the Chiefs, who had had a 67% scoring ratio inside the 20. Now they're forced to kick the field goal.
A 20-yarder. And it is good. And Kansas City moves on top, 17-14. For the Rams, a new system in this year, obviously working now, holding the Chiefs. Kansas City with the field goal, move up by 3 with 9:10 left to go in the third, and Nick Lowry will be kicking off. Vernon Turner, number 82, is back as a return man, as is now David Lang. And it is Lang, and Turner makes sure that the rookie from Northern Arizona downs the ball in the end zone for the touchback. And the Rams will start from their own 20-yard line, first down. Everett, 13 of 15, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
At one point in his career a couple of years ago during the '89 season, he was approaching the record of 22 straight completions. He had 18 going in one game. So Jim Everett can be accurate, as he has been, obviously, in the first half.
And he comes out throwing in the second half. Goes back over the middle to Damone Johnson. And now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Late scores only. Denver by 3 over the Raiders in the third. San Diego, this is an upset working for the Chargers, shutting out Seattle in the third. Giants now lead Phoenix by 7 in the third. And here in the third, it is Kansas City 17 and the Rams 14. Second down and 2 at the 28-yard line. Flip around. Christensen is in motion. Here is Delpino. He's going to have about a yard. That's it. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Let's take a look at the standings in the AFC West, kind of referring back to the scores that we saw just a moment ago. Denver in front with a 7-2 record. Kansas City right behind them 6-3. The Raiders 5-4. Seattle 5-4. San Diego right now going for their 2nd win of the season. And here on NBC next week, an opportunity to see NFL Live, then to see the Denver-Kansas City game or the Seattle Raiders game. So the West continues to be the wild, wild West in the AFC. 3rd down and 1. Delpino has the 1st down and goes to the 40-yard line. So he picks up 11 on the play.
Buford McGee does an outstanding job. Watch the lead block by number 24 on Albert Lewis. Left side of the line shuts him down. Damone Johnson. Watch 24 take out Lewis. Bang. That enables him to get the 1st down and a little bit more, following behind his partner Duval Love to the 40-yard line.
For Delpino, that is his 14th carry. He has rushed for a total of 65 yards in the ballgame.
Well, you know, he had coming into this game over 900 yards in yards from scrimmage, which is one of those statistics now that's very much in vogue as a result of Thurman Thomas running and catching out of the backfield. And Delpino, while not quite that caliber, is in a similar mold.
Marcus Dupree is in the backfield. He has the reception, and he goes to the 48-yard line. That is his first reception of the year. He has 9 carries.
And what a hit he puts on Tracy Simeon, number 54. Marcus Dupree, of course, of Oklahoma fame, not known for being a pass catcher, but Everett looks upfield, sees nothing, puts it right on the numbers. Now watch this collision. Meow. Boy, oh boy, did he put it on number 54, who will definitely think twice before he takes on the upper body of the 240-pound Dupree.
Everett now has hit 14 in a row. And here is Dupree. And Dupree has the 1st down, 43-yard line of Kansas City.
When we talked with John Robinson yesterday, he said we've got to get him the ball much more. And you can see right there, somebody's trying to intimidate him verbally, but Dupree's not going to have any of it. Of course, his is a very storied history. Had some problems at Oklahoma, went to the pros, injured his knee, and never really materialized like people anticipated he would. Now here it is, deep into his 2nd season with the Rams, and he still hasn't quite gotten the opportunities that he wants. But John Robinson, if there's anybody that knows 1,000-yard rushers, that's the man.
Dupree comes out, Delpino comes in. And Delpino fumbles. Scramble for it at the bottom. Kansas City says they have it. And now it's just who is the strongest by the time they get everybody in file. Kansas City has the fumble recovery.
Not much debate about this one. Robert Delpino cuts inside, and this is tough for the Rams because they are going so well. Right there, Simeon gets back, comes across, strips the ball, lays on the ground. Kevin Porter, the first one there. He's the one that comes up with the ball. Watch 54's left arm come across and strip Delpino of the ball. There it comes up in the air. Nobody's aware of it just yet. Kevin Porter's going to see it right at the last minute and make the recovery.
We have a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. To strip the ball, they do it in practice. In fact, Tony Stratford ended up with a broken wrist in practice because of that. And here it certainly paid off. DeBerg at pump fake pulls it back and completes the pass to Rob Thomas.
The Rams have to be careful here. After a great offensive stretch, though, they fumble the ball. The momentum is definitely for Kansas City. The Rams have to suck it up here and not let Kansas City drive all the way down for another score.
Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, he told us most of all the Rams need a defensive tackle. And that seems to be the missing part of the defensive puzzle. Okoye running right over the defensive tackle's big 1st down, 21 yards.
One of the people that Marty Schottenheimer is very high on is number 61, Tim Grunhard. Look at how he comes off the ball here. takes out Larry Kelm, pushes him to the side, and that enables Okoye to come behind him. And look at the hole that Okoye runs through. Once again, when you're Darrell Henley, or in this case Todd Light, that's no fun to see that 260-pounder coming your way like that.
And Jeff Fisher, defensive coordinator, said the Chiefs' offensive line looked like a synchronized swimming team, and that last replay certainly pointed that out. They are all together. And Okoye here may go over the 100-yard mark. That was his 15th carry. He needs about 3 more to reach 100 yards. And now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Denver continues to lead the Raiders by 3. San Diego continues to shut out Seattle. Giants by 7 over Phoenix. And here it is Kansas City 17 and the Rams 14 with just over 3.5 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 9. Pass complete at the far side to Rob Thomas. Darrell Henley was there for the Rams. It'll be 3rd down.
Once again, a good mix of run and pass. Chiefs coming down the field. Give a lot of credit to Joe Pendry, who's got an excellent game plan going for the Chiefs.
3rd down and 3. Double tight end set for Kansas City. Williams is the remaining back. DeBerg lofts it into the end zone. It is incomplete. He was going to Rob Thomas, and Pat Terrell just closed on him at the end of the play. It'll be 4th down.
This is very close to face guarding. Pat Terrell gets beat. Take a look at Rob Thomas. He comes up, and look at that.
Oh, I think that is face guarding. He never looked back, did he?
No, he never did look back, but Rob Thomas didn't complain about it. DeBerg wishes that he'd have thrown it just a little bit farther. You can see he thinks he's got it on the mark. It's just a little bit short, enabling Terrell to come in and bat it down.
And now Nick Lowry with a 44-yard field goal attempt.
It's amazing to see that statistic from a man who had been cut 6 different times, and now he is the best in history.
And it is good from 44 yards away. Chiefs lead it 20-14. As we come back to the ball game here at the Big A, it becomes the story of the bouncing ball.
Well, you tell it. It's your story. I mean, you're the buddy of Lamar Hunt.
That's right. That's a Super Bowl. And from the Super Bowl came the name the Super Bowl, because Lamar came home and his daughter Sharon and Lamar Jr. were playing with the Super Bowl, and it did not just out of a meeting when they were talking about the American Football League National Football League Championship game, the longest title of a game in history. In the meeting, they kept saying, well, what about the championship game? And there's 2 weeks off after which championship game? And Lamar said, well, you know, the Super Bowl. And that's where it all evolved. Was not immediately accepted by those of the NFL. The media picked it up immediately, the first Super Bowl, but in reality that game was the American Football League National Football League Championship game. Don't throw that out. Don't throw that ball out the window here.
Why not?
Because your arm is not strong enough to reach the field, and you might hurt somebody.
Oh no, you're saying no. What you're saying is my arm is strong enough to reach the field. You're jealous.
Of what? Here's Marcus Dupree. When you take a look at this young man, you want to flash back to the Fiesta Bowl of 1983 when he was playing for the University of Oklahoma. He was a freshman, and he set a Fiesta Bowl record of rushing of 239 yards on 17 attempts. Did not play half of the ball game because it was a really hot day, and his muscles kept tying up. But it seemed as if every time he had the ball, he ran for a touchdown. And then, of course, you know, he went into the USFL, had the knee injury, was out of football for about 5 years, and now struggling to make a comeback with the Rams. But right now, the Rams aren't struggling as Jim Everett has them cranked up again.
Jim Everett and Henry Ellard have been on the same page ever since the trade of Dickerson has enabled them to throw and work out together constantly. And the struggles that Ellard had coming into this game have all but disappeared, as now Jim Everett has completed 15 straight passes.
Ellard now 5 receptions, 89 yards. Rams at their own 43-yard line, first down. And here is Marcus Dupree. Out to the 49-yard line. It'll be second down and 4. And here is our next Xerox Sports Facts. What Super Bowl participant had the worst regular season record? Good question. That one you have to mull over. Mull. Over.
Yeah.
55 seconds and counting time remaining in the third quarter. The Chiefs leading by 6. The Rams at their own 48-yard line. Everett, little swing pass right side. That is now 16 in a row. And it is Buford McGee who goes for the first down. So the Rams using their complete arsenal in this drive.
They've been very effective throwing to the backs coming out of the backfield. It appears that the Chiefs are getting into some very deep zones. Take a look at the room that McGee has when he cuts upfield. The closest guy is 20 yards away. You see Albert Lewis was downfield a good 20 yards, has to come up and make the initial contact, and that enables McGee to get the first down.
And the Rams will let the clock take them to the end of the third quarter. With the score, Kansas City 20 and the Rams 14. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. All over the world, everyone is reaching out to Magic Johnson. The signs here in the stadium: you are loved, keep the faith. And when we talked with John Robinson yesterday, he said, as a competitor, I would love to have this man standing beside me on the sideline at every Ram game. He is special. Everett goes deep. And Ellard cannot get there. And so the string is broken at 16 consecutive completions. With the smile, though.
Well, had he known that, he wouldn't have tried to play like this. This is an out and up. And Ellard, instead of looking back to the quarterback, J.C. Pearson's not buying it. And he just throws off his back foot. He had a little more time. If he would have set up a little bit, he might have had a shot at the touchdown. And he knows it right there. You can see with the 2 fingers up, he says, yeah, I got to loft a little bit more, give him a chance to run underneath.
Second and 10, the ball at the Kansas City 42-yard line. Here's Delfino. A couple of yards. It'll be third down and 8. Derek Thomas with the tackle.
Big hit in there by Dino Hackett. And the answer is,
to our Xerox Sports Facts, the Rams in '79 made it to the Super Bowl that year, and they had a 9-7 record.
But very competitive in the playoffs. They defeated the Cowboys and they defeated the Buccaneers, and that was, up to that point, probably arguably the best Super Bowl ever. When that Pittsburgh game, when they hit Stallworth with that long 70-some yarder. In fact, the Rams were leading going into the fourth quarter, as I recall. Great Super Bowl.
Third down and 8, inside handoff to Delfino, and he is stacked up and then nailed by Deron Cherry just shy of the first down.
Big hit by Deron Cherry, because his momentum there would have carried him over for the first down, and I would figure in this situation they probably go for it because a 50-yard field goal here is just a little bit too far. It might be a little bit out of Zendejas' range, so they got the 3 tight ends coming in. It appears that that's exactly what's going to happen. They are going for it.
It'll be fourth down and 1, and it was all. Now the Rams take a timeout. That stops the clock. 13:42 left to go in the game. Chiefs lead it by 6. Fourth down and 1. 13:42 left to go in the game. Rams trail by 6. It is Dupree, and he is not back. They will give him his momentum. Let's see where they spot the ball of his forward progress.
His momentum carried him forward for the first down, but it'll be interesting as to where the spot was. When the judge came sliding in, he wasn't very sure himself. When you get a chance to see the replay, take a look at where his initial momentum goes to, because the 32-yard line is where he has to go to. John Robinson showing a lot of confidence in Dupree, who hasn't really played much here in this crucial 4th and 1. Now from this angle, let's see where his forward momentum is as he sticks his head down. Bang! He knocks back Duron Cherry, and there he gets hit back again. His initial momentum took him past the first down, but we wonder whether or not that's where it's going to be marked.
Kansas City holds by about 3 inches, and they will take over on down.
That man that you just saw there, John Robinson, has had some really tough luck today. A fumble that was supposed to go his way did not on an instant replay. Now on 4th down, it doesn't go his way. An interception by Jerry Gray gets called back for a penalty. These are the things that try men's souls, as they say.
So Kansas City has a first down at their own 33-yard line with 13.5 to go and a 6-point lead. DeBerg, a little play-action fake, but it is knocked away by Fred Strickland. Good defensive play by number 53.
The misdirection play that earlier had gone for two big plays. This time they were not fooled. They came with the outside blitz. Both Strickland and Kevin Green will come from the left side, right in the face of DeBerg. As Strickland, strangely enough, once again he got fooled by the play action. Watch number 53 right there. He hesitates. Now if he comes straight towards DeBerg there instead of hesitates towards Okoye, he might be able to get the sack.
Overhand is in motion. And here is Williams. Almost breaks it. 12 yards to the 45 and a first down.
What makes this young man so special is the fact that if you notice on the offensive line play, nobody pushes anybody off. It doesn't require to have a big hole. All he needs is a stalemate. Watch the offensive line here. Just get in the faces of people. They're just in their way. They're not knocking anybody up. Now he runs. He's quick enough. He finds the crease and zip. He's through it. It reminds me of a number 33, not a number 44, but the name of Dorsett, who was able to do that, to knife through holes so quickly.
5 carries, 37 yards for Williams. And here he comes again. To the 50-yard line, a gain of 5. Bill Jones, the lead blocker. Larry Kelm with the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 5. Now let's check the ITT 10-minute ticker. All of the scores. The early ones, of course, are all finals. Buffalo wins. Washington big in overtime. Houston a field goal over Dallas. New Orleans continues on their roll. The Colts with their first victory of the season. Philadelphia by 2 over Cleveland. We'll come back to the rest of the scores after this play. Williams just to the line of scrimmage. He's not going to pick up anything. It'll be 3rd down and 5. The ball still at the 50. Kelm again with the tackle. Tampa Bay upsetting Detroit. And overtime final, we have 33-33. I thought that I had a later report on that. Let me double check that score for you.
We had 33-26 that Pittsburgh had defeated Cincinnati. Eric Green caught a touchdown pass. I remember the update with Costas.
All right. So we will correct that for our next ticker. In the 3rd quarter, the Raiders are in front of Denver at Mile High Stadium. San Diego leads Seattle. Seattle, John L. Williams has scored. Giants by 14 over Phoenix. And here the Chiefs lead the Rams by 6. DeBerg from the shotgun has time, and it is knocked away by Jerry Gray. Good defensive play. It'll be 4th and 5.
Jerry Gray, the 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback, had some injury problems this year. And talking to John Robinson, he feels like he might have lost a step, hence the reason why he put in Todd Light. But he is in the nickel package, and earlier you saw him intercept a pass that was taken back because of a questionable roughing the passer call. There, he gets in front of Tim Barnett and makes the big play.
Vernon Turner is the return man. A short kick that is taken at the 19, swings to the right. Tried to cut back, and somebody got a fistful of jerseys. 2 flags are down, 31 yards on the kick, a 4-yard return. Simeon was there for the Chiefs. It'll be an illegal block against the Rams, and so they will lose pretty good field position.
Illegal block. 55 on the return team.
That's on Grinnell Sanders. And the Rams will have a first down. We'll step aside with 11:05 left to go, and Kansas City up by 6.
Not much debate on this penalty by Glenell Sanders. Watch number 55 from the right of your screen. Cream Tracy Simeon right in the butt. That's definitely a flag as you'll watch the cascade of yellow linen that will follow.
And so the Rams go to work first down for their own 12-yard line. Everett with a play action fake, and he throws to Ellard, and he is along the sideline. They'll say no. He did not get both feet inbound.
The flag went down. They're going to call Chris Martin for roughing the passer, I believe, or maybe it's holding. Oh, okay. He came from the outside, number 57, one of the more underrated players for the Kansas City Chiefs, leading them in tackles, this man, 61, and he has 3 sacks. Earlier in the season against the Miami Dolphins, he had one of the biggest plays of his career.
Holding, 64 offense. Still first down.
That's Gerald Perry.
Gerald Perry had a takedown on Chris Martin coming down, but earlier in, there you can see right there, that's a takedown. Watch as he pulls on the thing. He's got to call that. Good call by the official.
So the ball goes back to the 6-yard line, and it is first down and 16. Everett to Delpino. And there is just a yard to the 7. It'll be second down and 15 as Neil Smith makes the tackle with 10:47 left to go.
Chris Martin in on the tackle along with Neil Smith. Here's the flashback of when Sammy Smith about to dive over the top. The ball gets stripped. Now watch number 57 on one hop, and there he goes. He is going to go the distance, and I kidded him yesterday. We had a chance to talk to him. I said, you know what? You look pretty good. You look like a thoroughbred there. You didn't look like some defensive lineman or someone goofing it up. Lloyd Burris patting him on the head, and he remarked that he said, you know what? I'll always be in the record book. 100-yard fumble return, which is the second longest in history, only behind the 104-yarder by Jack Tatum against the Green Bay Packers some 15 years ago.
And Flipper Anderson has the first down. A gain of 17. They needed 15.
Big play for the Los Angeles Rams here. Second and very, very long. Flipper Anderson does a nice job against Everett, getting just enough for the first down.
Back for a quick moment to Chris Martin in that run. He said he was also proud of the fact that he came immediately in on defense, did not miss a play. Said there was a few bets going along the Chiefs bench and whether or not he would get back in time because he might be too winded. Marcus Dupree will pick up 4, maybe 5 on the play. Let's go to New York. Get an update. Here's Bob Costas.
All right, Charlie, down 10-7 in the third at Mile High. Jay Schrader goes to the air. Off the play action fake, he finds the former Heisman Trophy winner Tim Brown. Defensive back took a swipe at it and missed. Brown skips in from 23 yards out. Jeff Jager later adds a 19-yard field goal. They're now early in the fourth. Raiders 17, Broncos 10.
Thank you, Bob. Can the Broncos come back, or do the Raiders have that one in hand?
Oh, are you kidding me with John Elway? You really had to ask that?
Well, I wanted to include you in the telecast.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Everett goes down. Ellard is all alone as he got away from the defender, J.C. Pearson. 27 yards, and here come the Rams. They trail by 6.
Henry Ellard now well over 100 yards receiving. Just turns J.C. Pearson inside out. When you have about a 20-yard route like this and you're wide open, that means that you have definitely fooled some people. And Henry Ellard is really on his game today. The former Fresno State standout is having a big one.
Ellard 6 for 116 yards and his first touchdown of the year. And the Rams with the first down at the Kansas City 44. A delayed blitz up the middle. Pass is complete to Ellard again. And the hot hand continues. Everett to Ellard, 25 more.
Well, it is turning into the Henry Ellard show, and somebody's excited about it, and that's number 11, Jim Everett. Look at the sidearm toss that he puts right on the money, right between the defenders. That was an all-pro throw, and let me show you why. Take a look at Tracy Simeon on what's called the bullets blitz, straight up the middle. He knows he's going to take it to the midsection, gets it off for the completion anyway. Do not question Jim Everett's courage on that play.
We're moving on the 8-minute mark. Time remaining. Everett has completed 20 of 23, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Little change of pace. Robert Del Pino will pick up a yard.
You know,
it'll be second down.
You can almost hear the audible groan of the fans. I mean, everybody's all into it, and then, oh, okay, into for 2 yards. All right.
Here are the numbers of Jim Everett that we were talking about.
That was really an impressive throw. Knowing that guy's coming right in, and he knows he's going to get hit, to deliver that ball right on the money some 30 yards downfield.
When we talked to Jim Everett yesterday, he said, we started out the year to be the New York Giants, but it didn't turn out that way. Now they're going back to what they can do best. He was running out of time. He had pressure up the middle from Dino Hackett. The pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Dino Hackett, who has had an outstanding career for the Kansas City Chiefs, averaging over 100 tackles a year during his 5-year career, coming in on the blitz. Everett had Ellard open, but opted to throw it away anyway, and he takes a real shot to his ribs. Everett's one of the few people I noticed that does not wear the flak jacket.
He also mentioned that what he needed more than anything else was a tight end in this offensive set. That is the one thing that they missed.
I was all set to offer my services.
You did offer your services.
Oh, yeah, good point. He turned me down.
Everett to throw over the middle, and it's complete at the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Rams. Damone Johnson, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 2nd of the year.
Well, Charlie, you were talking about tight ends, but the thing about this play that is really funky, take a look who is going to be trailing him in coverage when we get to the replay, which we will right after this extra point. Zendejas in to try to put him up by 1.
To break the tie, it is wide, it hits the upright and comes back.
I have never seen Murphy's Law so applied in one game. This man heading into this game was perfect on his kicks. He had not missed a single kick all year up until that point, and what a time to miss. The score is tied when we come back.
Seven minutes and 6 seconds left in the ball game. We are tied at 20. And Tony Zendejas, who missed his first kick of any kind, is kicking off. Williams at the 1, to the 10, 15, down at the 19-yard line. Roman Pfeiffer got him. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Take a look at number 97, the nose tackle. This is an interesting defensive alignment by Bill Cowher. He is going to backpedal. He's going to be in coverage. Now watch Damone Johnson. That man is 300 pounds. What's he doing in pass coverage? Damone Johnson easily gets past him for the touchdown. Now, as Charlie mentioned, perfect up to this point. How could this happen? John Robinson just can't believe this. Bang.
Did Chris Martin get a piece of it? You don't think so?
No. You just missed that kick.
DeBerg's pass is complete to Rob Thomas, and he goes out at the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Let's go back and take another look at that missed extra point.
It appears the number 57 might have gotten a hand on it, but watch how high it gets, and it doesn't change the trajectory at all. See, it goes right over his hand. He just kicked it wide.
Hit the upright and came back. Ball game tied 20-20, 6:43 and counting. Time remaining. And here it is, way to the 45, near the 50-yard line. 22 yards by Barry Word.
Barry Word certainly with fresh legs, having not played much, or if at all, in the third quarter. Once again in sync as the offensive line. There's Tim Grunhard pushing two people away. First Mike Charles and then Larry Kelm to create the hole for Barry Word, who cuts into the secondary and gets the ball near midfield for the Chiefs.
5 carries, 29 yards, and the touchdown for Word. DeBerg to throw, and it is complete to Tim Barnett. They spotted at the 41-yard line. That's where the marker is on the opposite side of the field.
DeBerg limping around a little bit there. I wonder what that's about. Oh, he's in some pain. Oh, he got his foot stepped on. Right there, the youngster Young kicked him in the shin and stepped on his foot. That'll go away.
First down for the Chiefs. DeBerg goes deep, and it is incomplete. Barnett, the intended receiver. I noticed something on the offensive line that, and I believe it was Balding or the left tackle, never moved from his set with his right hand down, but he pulled his left arm right along the side of his left hip before the ball was snapped to see if anybody would go with it, and a defender did not go with it.
Well, then he got away with something. He's not supposed to do that. Tremendous protection on this last play by DeBerg. The only problem was that Tim Barnett was looking back into the backfield when he should have been looking straight ahead and running. That slows you down. That's why he wasn't able to catch up with it.
Second down. DeBerg's pass to Rob Thomas. They are going to mark it at the 35-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Jeff Fisher told us yesterday that they would blitz periodically to try to put some pressure on DeBerg, and right there they had a very effective one. Fortunately for the Chiefs, they're in only a 3-step drop. Look at Gerald Robinson coming. Nobody touches him. He's able to get the pass off to Rob Thomas for a 5-yard gain. Now 3rd and 5. Look at the shot that DeBerg takes from Gerald Robinson, the leading sacker for the Los Angeles Rams.
Blitz from the outside, and this will take Kansas City out of field goal range. Jerry Gray was coming with a corner blitz.
Jeff Fisher made the right call there, and Jerry Gray, despite his limited playing time, is making some excellent plays. Here he comes on the safety blitz. DeBerg is able to avoid him, but Anthony Newman is right there, and all DeBerg can do is cover up the ball and protect himself. Jeff Fisher in the chess match versus Joe Pendry wins that round.
Barker to kick. Turner and Gray are the return men, and he hangs this one up, and a fair catch is called for, and then stepped away, and the Chiefs will down it at the 3-yard line. It was James Saxon who was downfield. A 41-yard kick. 3:55 is the time remaining in regulation. We are tied at 20.
Well, that man has been having himself quite a day, but he's got to go a long ways here in 3 minutes and 55 seconds to get his team in field goal range.
Zendejas this year has hit from 50 yards away.
You know, if you're on the offense, though, right now, you've got to be a little bit excited. You know, really, if they had the lead, if you had a 1-point lead now, you are playing not to win. And, of course, there the shot of the blitz gives you the idea of how far the Rams have to go to get into scoring position here with less than 4 minutes on the clock.
Over dumps it over the middle. The pass is complete. It's Damone Johnson, and he is down at the 11-yard line.
The point I'm trying to make from that is that oftentimes when you're ahead in this situation and you're in your own part of the end zone, you have a tendency to be way too conservative, to not take some chances. If the score was 21-20 right now, the Rams would opt to run the ball up the middle, be very content to be safe with the ball, then might have to punt, give the ball to Kansas City at midfield. Now they know that they have to score, and they're calling the same plays that have been effective for them throughout the game.
Damone Johnson, 5 receptions, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. Delpino spins and has the first down. ever good behind him. Delpino saved the day for the Rams. Hackett and Cherry on the stop.
Charlie, this young man is really growing on me. You're right. He throws that ball well behind him. Nice catch by Delpino with a complete 360, cutting up the field, protecting the ball. What an outstanding football player this Robert Delpino is.
And a first down at the Rams' 23-yard line.
If not for bad luck, the Rams would have had absolutely no luck at all. Good play to the outside. There he is running with the ball. Cutting across is Deron Cherry. Sure enough, he strips the ball. The ball comes loose. Derek Thomas does a nice job of a balancing act on the sidelines to pick it up and go in for the score. The Chiefs now for 2 straight seasons have been the most effective team in taking the ball away from their opponents. Twice now they've been able to do it today and turn it into very, very big plays for them.
And the extra point attempt is good. It is Kansas City 27, Rams 20 will be back.
Throughout training camp and practice, this is one of the things that the Kansas City Chiefs practice. Deron Cherry comes in, puts his hand right on the football. The ball comes loose and Derek Thomas does the rest. The Kansas City Chiefs, is that we asked almost every single defensive player who came by, is that a coincidence that you guys lead the league in takeaways? They say no. It's something that we practice constantly, almost to the point of irritation amongst the offensive players, but it shows results.
Officially a 23-yard fumble return for the touchdown for Derek Thomas.
On the bright side for the Rams, that particular drive didn't take up that much time. So with 2 minutes and 25 seconds, if they can get a reasonable return from the kickoff, they still have plenty of time to get in the end zone themselves.
We're looking down from the MetLife blimp, one of the world's largest airships, measuring 194 feet long and 67 feet high. John Robinson, the head coach of the Rams.
What must be going through his head today? Boy, he's got to be frustrated.
There's the MetLife blimp. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Southern California. Temperature in the mid-70s. And it goes out of bounds. So the Rams will have good field position.
The Rams are going to save themselves about 2 first downs there by starting at the 35-yard line.
A program note. And tonight on NBC, Rams now from their 35-yard line, first down, and they trail by 7. Almost a one-hand grab for Aaron Cox. It'll be second down and 10 at the 35.
Albert Lewis with terrific coverage here. Aaron Cox almost coming up with an amazing catch. That would have been something if that could have stuck. But Albert Lewis read the comeback route all the way. Nice coverage by number 29. A man that Tony Dungy has said, number 29, Albert Lewis, the best cover cornerback of the modern era. That's some compliment.
Second down. Pass is complete for the first down to Jim Price. Now, yesterday when we were talking to John Robinson, he talked about Jim Price making the plays. He said he reminds him a lot of you, that he'll shove people aside and then make the catch.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I never shoved anybody. I was as clean a player as there was on the planet, and we'll elaborate on that when we come back.
2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The Rams have the ball at their own 49-yard line. They need a touchdown and an extra point to take us into overtime.
Interesting that you would say extra point.
You bet.
As opposed to taking it for granted after that.
And the pass is incomplete to Delpino. You also cannot take it for granted from the standpoint of a missed extra point by the Denver Broncos in their game at home at Mile High Stadium as the Raiders lead it 17-16 at this point. The last report we have in. It's been a strange day. A couple of overtime games. The Colts with their first win.
Yeah, a team that hadn't scored in how long? What was it, 32, 33 quarters or something like that? All of a sudden they get 4 touchdowns. I wonder if on the first touchdown they had the celebration penalty. What do you think?
I bet they did.
I'll bet.
He is going to Jim Price, and we have flags down.
My guess is we're going to have dual penalties here, holding on both sides of the ball.
Conference being held at the 45-yard line.
Flag came in from the secondary in the vicinity of Jim Price would usually indicate that they got a piece of him. And of course the flag from the umpire usually indicates holding on the offense.
Illegal contact. 34 defense. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Shot block on the offense. They'll offset. Still second down.
That's something that is not called very often anymore, is the chop block. And for those of the uninitiated, it is where one lineman stands up the defensive lineman and the one next to him chops him at the knees. That's something that I haven't seen called in a very long time, but there's certainly a lot of defensive linemen around the league who have been complaining about it.
3 turnovers in the game. Kansas City with a fumble recovery, an interception, and the fumble recovery for the touchdown. The Rams had a couple, but they were both negated by penalties, and the pass to Ellard is incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 10.
You can see the reaction by J.C. Pearson. He's excited with himself. He has been picked on from time to time throughout the game, but that was a good play by Pearson to force the Rams into a 3rd and long situation. Right with Ellard. He throws a little bit behind. Looks like it's a catchable ball, but Pearson does a nice job of taking away the left arm of Henry Ellard so he can't hang on.
1:44 time remaining. 3rd down and 10. Kansas City leading by 7. Going deep, it is incomplete. Flipper Anderson, the intended receiver. And it will be 4th down and 10 at the 49-yard line.
For all the great decisions that Jim Everett has made today, that one I just do not understand. You know you're going to go for it on 4th down anyway, so what's the reason for going for it all on 3rd and 10? You set up a jump ball, and Albert Lewis is right there and makes a nice play. If there's nobody downfield, go to your checkoff man, get 6 yards, and put up a 4th and 4, which is easy to get. Now 4th and 10, the odds are not in your favor.
Everett needs 10. He has it with Ellard. Pearson got him by the foot and saved about 8 yards. He's down at the 33. They've got to score a touchdown. Rams stop the clock. 1:25 left to go. We'll be back in a moment.
Wouldn't it be great if there was a country club just for regular guys and a few things were changed, like monster carts allowed on course, water hazards shall no longer be hazardous, spikes encouraged in the clubhouse, only really great premium beer served, like cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light, bottle beer taste in a can.
Hey, I'm in the sand again. All right.
Nice shot.
Thanks. Wouldn't that be great?
4th down play. Who would you think that Jim Everett is going to go? Watch the hand fighting at the bottom of the screen when they come across 24 and 80. Look at that. Little shove, a little push, but they got to let it go. It's 4th down. Ellard makes a nice catch, and Pearson actually had pretty good coverage, but give credit to Everett for putting it right on the money. Now he's screaming at people to get up to the line of scrimmage, but Doug Smith says, relax, man. We'll take time out. We got plenty of time.
Ellard now 8 receptions, 160 yards, and a touchdown. Everett 25 of 33, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And it is incomplete. He was going to Ellard again. He was throwing on the break, and there was a misread. It'll be 2nd down. While they gather, let's quickly run through our 10-minute ticker. Buffalo wins. Washington wins big. Houston defeats Dallas in overtime by 3. New Orleans continues on their roll. 49ers, they continue on their roll in the opposite direction. Colts with their first victory of the year. Philadelphia by 2 over Cleveland. Tampa Bay upsets Detroit, and Pittsburgh down Cincinnati in overtime. Second and 10. Everett dumps it up to Del Pino, and it was low, and he couldn't pull it in, but it was a bad pass. It'll be third down.
Give Bill Moss credit on that. He was the one putting the pressure on Jim Everett, and Del Pino had a lot of room to run there. Kansas City obviously very concerned with them downfield. They're willing to concede that pass. You can see Bill Moss right on Everett, forcing him to throw the ball behind Del Pino. Bill Moss, a Pro Bowler at nose tackle, but with the emergence of Saliamua has moved to defensive end, but obviously he's taking a break right here, which I find strange because this is certainly a key play, isn't it?
Third down and 10. Pressure from the backside. He goes deep again down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Aaron Cox, the intended receiver, and it will be fourth down and 10. Back at the 33-yard line.
Again, I feel like deja vu. There it was, third and 10. They did the same thing. He threw the ball up the sidelines. I understand the concept of quarterbacks having to make certain reads, but you also have to be a player out there and have some spontaneity. You have third and 10. Let's take some chunks of yardage and give yourself a chance on fourth down. Once again, now they're faced with a difficult situation, fourth and 10.
They converted fourth and 10 earlier in this drive, and they're faced with it again. Complete to Price. He should have it. Jim Price right at the first down marker. Let's see where they spot the ball.
You know what he did at the end, Charlie? You would remember this because I know you're a great track aficionado. Do you remember Dick Fosbury in 1968?
The Fosbury flop.
Exactly.
Yep.
If we get a chance to see the replay, you're going to see what Jim Price did. He leaned himself back and enabled them to get the first down.
Del Pino, a flag is down. The line of scrimmage, the 22. They marked it for the first down. The Chiefs wanted a measurement. They didn't get it. They got the play off, and a flag dropped at the same time.
Well, that doesn't really hurt the Rams that much. In fact, it actually stops the clock.
Offense.
This is why I've never understood in a situation like that when you just don't run with the center, go up to the line of scrimmage, and hike the ball. Take a look at the Fosbury here. Dwight Stones would be proud of this. Jim Price makes a catch right there. He's at the 8-yard line. Now watch when Porter gets him. Now watch what he does backwards. Take a look at what he does with his body. He throws it back. Yeah, just back like that to get that extra yardage to give him the first down. Good athletic play by that youngster who also happens to be Jim Everett's roommate. Big shoes to fill in taking Holohan's place. He's done a nice job.
They'll mark it at the 26-yard line. Knocked out of his hand. Derek Thomas stripped it. Fourth turnover for the Chiefs. They've got the ball. And Derek told us yesterday we make a conscious effort to strip the ball every day in practice.
Well, we've been talking about this over and over again. This is definitely the play of the game right here. Derek Thomas, two big plays. First, the fumble for the touchdown, and now he not only strips the ball, gets the sack. Neil Smith comes in with the recovery. Gerald Perry just couldn't quite keep him out a little bit of the angle. If Everett can step up, he avoids him, but give Derek Thomas credit. He gets to the point where he's to take it away, and he did it.
Robert Young was falling on the ball before the snap. Now the officials are going to have to step in and stop this. It's been too good a ball game to have it marred by anything like this. When Derek Thomas knocked the ball away, that, by the way, was the first time that Everett had been sacked today. And now let's take a look at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game.
Well, Derek Thomas coming from the outside over Gerald Perry strips the ball from Jim Everett. The Rams are coming in for the tying touchdown. Not much argument there. Along a lot of big plays for the Kansas City defense, but that's the one we pick as the Canon camcorder replay of the game.
The ball marked at the 41-yard line. First down and 5 now with 37 seconds left in the ball game. Four Ram turnovers. The Kansas City Chiefs did not turn over the ball today. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's most valuable player, and of course that has to be the quarterback Jim Everett, the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. There is stats: 26 of 37, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he stood in against a tough rush all day long.
I agree. He did everything he could, not just athletically, but as you say, mentally. He was into the game, and he did show a lot of courage in situations. He did everything he could to help his team win. John Robinson has been frustrated by what has happened over the last couple of games that they felt like they could be competitive. After the New Orleans game last week, he said, we've got to be the dumbest bunch of guys in the world. When it comes down to the plays, you have to make it a game. When it comes down to the things that you need to do to win, we just don't seem to do it. And I suppose that you could say, Charlie, that's certainly applicable this week as well.
Next week, the Rams will be at Detroit. Kansas City returns home to host Denver, but the Chiefs have a lot of their remaining games on the road.
That's right. After this game, 4 of 6 are going to be on the road. But this is one of those types of games that gives you confidence. The Rams are a tough team. They played them very hard, but give the Chiefs credit. They made the plays when they needed to.
The countdown will make it official. The final score is Kansas City 27 and the Rams 20. Now stay with us. Don't go away right now. We're going to make a hot switch to the Denver Raider game and join Cricky and Trumpy. Don Cricky and Bob Trumpy, our NBC announcers. For Todd Christensen, I'm Charlie Jones. Zip we go.